did. I hit record. Okay, here. Thanks. No, you don't. Okay, Ethan, you don't get an extra one. Sorry. I swear to God, I hit record. Anyway, um, uh, 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 remember this is a playtest for a grad uh, project. So after you play, he has a survey for you to fill out. Please fill out the survey. Um, it takes 2 minutes, and will definitely help him out. Um, uh, Same goes for DMs. Please, go. Uh, oh gosh, I it's 70 degrees out. I want to go run around outside. Um, okay, so so please do the survey afterwards. Um, Anything else? Tonight, reading quizzes are due. I think they hid the the make the answers available option. Somebody asked for it for reading quiz 2. Reading quiz 3 is due tonight. On Monday, after Varun, after you do the grading on the reading quiz on Monday, make sure that you got to go in and edit the thing, and it's somewhere in there to make the answers available to everyone so you can see what the correct answers were.
Okay.
Uh,
I thought it was default.
I thought it was too, but somebody emailed me today saying I got things marked wrong and I can't see what the right answers are. And I dug around and I found a thing that said make them available, so I made them available.
Okay. I'll work on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll and for on Monday when I do reading quiz 4, I'll make sure that it becomes available after you grade them.
Sounds good.
Um, it's just this one is in the cracks. Um, what else? Assignments for next week. Let's check the syllabus. I think it's um, game to play is um, play facade and passage. That was this week. We're gonna read the Glasner. Yeah. Read the D&D adventure. Yes. So it is Stanley Parable um, for, well, it says April 13th and 14th. So Stanley Parable, you should probably play Stanley Parable for Tuesday. Um, More than likely, we probably won't get to it until next Thursday. Um, it is another one of these games where you can get through it in maybe 20 minutes, um, but you're going to want to go through it more than once um, to see other things. So uh, currently, let's see, Steam. Let's go to the library. Uh, do a search. Stanley Parable. Currently, I have 6.2 hours played on Stanley Parable. And I believe um, I have played it multiple times. I have 6 out of 10 achievements. Also, let me just check. Stanley Parable. I thought that they might have released. They've got a bundle of the Stanley Parable and the Beginner's Guide together. You might look at that. But they also may have released some kind of Stanley Parable remastered. Um, which has even more branches and endings. I have not played any remastered version. Honestly, he was promising it, and I don't know. I don't think it ever came out, honestly. Stanley Parable remake. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Yes. Coming in 2019, that's crossed out. 2020, that's crossed out. 2021. So, okay, so that's the Ultra Deluxe version has not come out yet. He's been promising it for 3 years. I guess sales of the regular old Stanley Parable are still keeping him in ramen. If you do the 4-hour baby game, you do not get extra credit. You get the satisfying feeling of wasting 4 hours of your life. That's all you get. Yes, there is a 4-hour long tedious game, at the end of which will get you an achievement. I don't recommend using your time that way. But hey, do what you got to do.
Isn't there an achievement that's like don't play for 5 years?
Yeah, I think it was don't play for 2 years or so. I was close. I was very close, and then it's 5 years. Okay.
It's 5 years, yeah.
I hadn't played in I think 4 years, and last year I had to stream it so that people who couldn't get it to work or in countries where it's not available could actually experience it somehow, and I blew it.
And the funny part is it tracks the time through Steam and not your Windows machine, so you can't time skip or do
Yeah.
anything. So
I last played it last April, but it won't tell me when I played it. View my achievements. Let's see. There's another one where you have to play the Stanley Parable for the entire duration of a Tuesday. So if you then there's the speed run, which is complete the Stanley Parable in under 4 minutes 22 seconds, not including load times. Don't play the Stanley Parable for 5 years. And the 10th achievement, it is impossible to get this achievement, which is just there for OCD people who want a perfect achievement thing to make you crazy. You can't get a perfect in Stanley Parable. I realize my microphone was way over there, so sorry if you couldn't hear me. Oh, I'm punchy. It's Friday. You can cheat. What can you cheat? The 5 years? How do you get the unachievable achievement? Wait. How do you get it? Oh, now it's going to drive me crazy. Okay. So on yesterday, we had talked about Facade. Had I talked about Trumbus? Did I talk about Trumbus?
Yeah, you did talk about it last class.
So here we are. We've got I picked One Night Stand mostly because it's short. It is what's interesting to me is that it's a dating sim, but it's the aftermath of the dating sim. There you go. There's the wiki. where you could get it legit, but there's no clear info, or there wasn't 4 years ago. So it might just be an urban legend. Okay. So One Night Stand is a visual novel, right? And many visual novels deal and correct me if I'm wrong. Visual novels deal with all sorts of things. But there's this very specific type called a dating sim, a romance, um, where essentially there are lots of possible romantic partners. Um, and depending on how you interact with them and how and who you choose, you can romance one partner, and explore that story, and then people play it over and over, romancing different partners, and some partners are um, more difficult to romance than others. Um, this started with a kind of purely transactional uh, system of romance where um, you say nice things and you give gifts, and that person then likes you. Um, this is a dangerous mechanic, um, because it leads people to believe uh, um, that if they give enough stuff, that in real life, um, that then they are somehow entitled to romance, and that is not the case in real life. Um, but as a simplified game mechanic, that's kind of the dating sim thing. One Night Stand takes place the morning after a one night stand, and it's all about where do we go from here, right? Um, and I find it mostly sweet, right? Even uh, sure, there are bad outcomes. I think I did the worst one by taking a picture of her with her back to me. Um, and then apparently it got shared on social media, which is icky. There's the one where you put on her panties and she throws you out, which I find just silly, more so than anything. Um, but these are all Trumbus like. Trumbus like. I guess that's a thing now. Let me get out my whiteboard. Share. So we start with a simple branch, um, and then each branch leads to new branches. Um, you notice I'm trying to conserve space. Um, and this is your basic, hey, it's interactive because you have choices, right? And um, you'll recall that there were some branches, some choices where you had three choices instead of two choices, um, where you could say, um, uh, I want painkillers, I want coffee, or you can say nothing, right? So three choices. What ends up happening, so doing a little math, this is one choice, this is your second choice, this is your third choice. um, if we get to 10 choices down here, right, 10 choices deep, how wide are we at that point? I gotta turn on chat. Where's chat? I've lost chat. There's chat. 10 choices. How many branches is 10 choices? Let's see. We're at 1, 2, 3, 4. At 4, we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So at 10, we're at 100. Don't you people do simple math? Right? 10 squared, 100 different branches. Right? Which is a lot of writing if you're writing this. I can't even fit them all. In fact, that's a lot of work coming up with all those different stories and different choices. And how long would it take you to make 10 choices? A minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, depends. There were times when there was a bunch of dialogue in between making a choice. But it doesn't take long to make a choice. You go, this one, it's a game, right? That one, I made a choice. So I end up here. Let's do this. I end up going down a path. And here I am. I'm here. And all the other stuff I don't see. Right. Somebody, I don't know if it was from this class or the other class, I was streaming it on Wednesday, and somebody popped into Discord and said, "You were so close. You were so close to the good ending." And I'm like, I'm like, well, what did I do wrong? I have so there are two secrets here, not really secrets. A, Dean is bad at games. So that's out. I have been playing video games since I was 11, probably before that, since there were video games essentially. And I am bad at them. And B, I have a poor memory in that the person was like, you were about to choose to go to the best ending. Why did you choose different? Why did you avoid it? And my reaction is, I don't know. I picked. So there was a game on the DS that was basically an adventure game, right, where you combine things, and towards the end there was a section where you make a choice, and if you make one choice, it leads to your death, right? So I made that choice and I died, but the time between making that choice and dying, there was a whole bunch of clicking of dialogue and a whole bunch of cutscene-y stuff. And I went through it all. And it was all, well, it was the first time I saw it. And I died. And I was like, I got to choose the other thing, right? And for whatever reason, the save point that they took you back was somewhat before that. And I came to that same choice, and I'm like, I know one of these leads to death, and I don't remember which one I chose. So I chose again, and I had to go through this whole dialogue with cutscenes. I died again. So I wrote it down. I had to write it down in order to not do it a third time. It was just so frustrating. It was, 15 minutes of crap. So whatever the good ending, so that's the other question. What is the good ending in this? What is the good? I'm going to ask you. Actually, let me stop the share. I want to ask y'all, what endings did you get? I got, I think 4 or 5 on Wednesday. She plays you the guitar and you hug before leaving. Is that the good ending? Yeah. Okay. Um, what else? I got she kicks you out for wearing her panties. I got we're friends, I think. I got I snuck out while she was like in the kitchen. No strings attached and the rejection. Let me see. Let me pull it up on my library. That's Stanley Parable now. Come on. Half-Life, 30 Flights of Loving. Oh, where's One Night's? Oh, I'm in the done section. One Night Stand. What do I have? Come on. What else? No strings attached. Come on, throw out some other endings. What did you end up seeing? Overlord, One Night Stand. Here we are. I got Going Viral. That's she kicks you out because you took a picture of her naked back and it got posted on social media. I got I successfully stole a pair of her panties, which means I put her panties on and then um, I got my jeans on also before she returned, so she didn't see that I was wearing her panties. I got Coming Soon. You became a fan of Love in Real Life. That's an achievement. I think that's not an ending. I got Rejected, Heading Separate Ways. I got Escaped Quickly and Clothed. And that's 9 out of 27 achievements. Let's see. That's a wrap. That's why they call it a one night stand. Anybody get that? What is that one? You became friends. Escaped during her moment of need. I guess that's when she goes out to puke. Um, you leave then. I left earlier. The time. You failed at the last hurdle. Anybody know what that one is? Nope. Well, thank you, Ethan, for participating. Anybody else? Did anybody else play this? Run of Shame, you made a break for it. Her song, which is the one you described, she plays you the guitar and you hug. You get thrown out without your clothes. That's the true walk of shame. You get thrown out with your clothes on. Oh, there's the one where you call her by the wrong name because you were going through her wallet. And she throws you out. A rose by any other name, you chose not to believe anything. And these are things you can do, like order the fancy coffee. say she drugged you. Turns out you share the same name. Oh yeah, what's your name? Robin, I guess. How unfortunate. You told her the last name that she wanted to hear. I don't know what that means. A bunch of name stuff. You investigated every item in the game. I don't think that's possible in one playthrough. So okay. So I played it at least I think I played it like 6 times and twice got, or actually 3 times got the rejection or we're just friends ending. In fact, the third time I got that ending was when I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm just repeating myself. I don't know what's going on. These games meant to be played more than once? Roe says yes. Usually yes. Yes. Okay. So why? I mean, isn't the story that I picked the story? That's my story. Isn't the whole idea of interactive that I create my own story, that the choices that I make are the story that I want, and if I've made those choices, then I got the story that I wanted and I'm done. That's what the first playthrough is for. What ifs are a big thing, so you might want to see what could have happened. The goal isn't getting to the end, it's to experience the different stories. Your first playthrough can be the story you want, but that's not where the game ends. Lyra says, I think they're meant to be able to be played multiple times, but aim to be a complete experience in one playthrough. So I don't know about you, but after the first playthrough, I have the fast forward button so that I could, there are long sections of conversation and I just hit fast forward and I get to my next choice, right? Because I've already seen that conversation and I don't need to see it. I just need to get to the next choice. So I'm not really experiencing the story. I'm experiencing the choices. So we're experiencing the different stories according to Roe. So the point is, as a game, to explore all the possibilities, to see all the different ways this came out. Is that what I'm hearing from y'all? Because I don't know. When I play, I'm always kind of dissatisfied with my first ending, like I screwed up somehow. That's because I rarely get the good ending, right? And I want to figure out how to do it. And I keep using the scare quotes, but to do it better, right? But the choices I made are my choices, right? So obviously me as a person choosing the story that I choose, I chose what got me to we're just friends, that's nice, there is no romance in our future. So okay, so there's 2 things I want to explore. First, that there is a good ending, right? That getting kicked out for wearing her panties is a bad ending. Is it? It's an ending. The The good or bad is something that I impose. That's a judgment that I make. Does the game make that judgment? Is it there? Am I taking that from the game, or am I making that assumption? Do you make that assumption? Sometimes. Okay. Maybe there are hard. So I can't say that, like, any choice that I'm given, there's no like bigger or smaller button, right? There's no like, this is the easy choice, this is the hard choice, or there's no time limit on choosing. Depends on how the game presents choices. Well, we're talking about One Night Stand. The game presents the choices. There's no time limit. I can consider and choose whatever I consider. Buttons are not bigger or smaller. The only thing that may be a degree of difficulty is when you're investigating things in the room. Some things are easier to notice than others. Some have bigger kind of collision boxes than others. So it's easier to click on the pile of clothes than the tiny little I don't know, there's a thing on the counter, on the bureau, that's very small. I think it's behind one of the pictures or something. Oh, the DVD, right? That it's edge on and it's hard to see. So that's the only kind of difficulty. Otherwise, everything is just as easy as anything else. So I don't think there's any ending that's harder than others. It's just what you choose. So maybe we give that judgment based on what we want in the story, right? This is a story about two people relating after a one night stand. A good kind of romantic comedy romance story is that they get together, that they start a relationship, because that's what this kind of story would be. Here's the thing: when you're writing these kind of branching path narratives, it is very difficult as a writer not to have a story in mind, have a sequence of events, and think of that as the good one. And then after that one's done, well, what if this choice? What if that choice? And build out from that. In fact, that's quite an easy way to think of it. But that becomes a problem because your good ending, again with the square quotes, your good ending is quite possibly not someone else's. So what you've done is biased the story. And when you're writing a movie, when you're writing a novel, when you're writing a play, that's exactly your job, is to tell the best possible story that you can possibly tell, right? But in an interactive fiction, you want balance. You want each story to have equal weight, to have equal possibility, so that I can experience whatever decisions I make. Now, obviously, some stories end in grisly death. If you look at a choose your own adventure book, and really, this is a choose your own adventure book, right? This is just an automated choose your own adventure book where I make choices and I turn to the page that it goes to. And most choose your own adventure books have many bad endings and one good ending, and the challenge, the game of it all, is to wend your way through all those bad endings to get the good ending, and the good ending is the longest one. But it doesn't have to be like that. You can have many different interesting stories, rather than one interesting story and a whole bunch of minefields, booby traps, that just basically go, ha ha, you picked wrong, right? So, okay. Enough on One Night Stand. Maybe I'm belaboring something you guys. Sometimes I feel like I'm belaboring stuff that you guys all are just rolling your eyes and saying, "Yeah, we know." And sometimes I feel like, well, even so, saying it out loud, trying to analyze what exactly is going on here, is uh, even if on a certain level you've seen it a million times, by kind of quantifying it, we get a better understanding of it. So the next thing I want to talk about is in the Glassner, he talks about the authorial contract, and we're going to come back to this a number of times. But basically, the authorial contract, there are a couple of different aspects to it. So the first is, there is a contract between an author and an audience, right? The author makes a thing and asks the audience for time and attention, and that you try, right? That you suspend disbelief, that you go on the ride, and if you pay attention, you suspend a little disbelief, and you say, let's go on this ride, then the author says, I will deliver tears or laughter or terror or whatever it is I'm going to deliver. Now, there are two ways we can screw that up. As an audience, we can screw it up by essentially not trying, right? By sitting there and busting on the story, right? Which can be as simple as, why is he going through that door? They told him not to go through that door. He's going through that door. They know the face-eating monster is on the other side of the door. Why is he doing that? That's the stupidest thing ever, right? And I've done that. But there are two ways to do it. One is where the author has kind of broken the contract, where the author has made characters act out of character or just stupidly in order to serve the plot, in order to release the face-eating monster. I don't want to say hero, but the protagonist or some other person must go through the door and open the door so that the face-eating monster can come out. And that's once again, remember I said plot comes from character. When character comes from plot, we need somebody to open the door so the face-eating monster can come out. Any reasonable person would say, no, I'm going to leave that door shut. But this person opens that door because we need that door opened. Whereas if I don't know, their child is on the other side screaming and crying, of course they're going to open the door to save their child. But um, it's actually the face-eating monster impersonating their child. And then, oh, face-eating monster is out. But that door was opened because that person, that character, is a loving parent, rather than because we need the door open. Simple things. The other thing is, and this is where we get into this whole kind of obsession with spoilers of late. Of and by of late, I mean in the last, I don't know, 15 years, which is for most of you the bulk of your life. But I don't know. When I was young, see, now I'm just sounding old. But when I was young, it wasn't a thing. It was like nobody said no spoilers, please. It was just like, well, eh. In fact, the first movie I recall where there was a big secret, and when you saw the movie, you weren't supposed to tell anybody, was The Crying Game. When did The Crying Game come out? The Crying Game came out in 1992. So I am wrong on the 15 years. That's more like 30 years. Yes, good stories turn their shocking spoilers into suspense. Hopefully. So at the same time, I have to tell you enough about the story in order for you to enter into the authorial contract, right? We as the creators have to give you something to see, whether that's something that's on the back of the book, or some sort of marketing copy, or for movies, trailers. So I want to show you a trailer. I have time. Which trailer do I want? That one. Okay. This. Share screen, optimize. We got sound. Okay. I'm going to share this. I saw a big thing coming, but let's make that as big as I can. This was a tiny little movie, a tiny little trailer, but so it's a little pixelated, but go with me.
Meet Jack Torrance.
I'm outlining a new writing project.
He's a writer looking for inspiration.
Lots of ideas. No good ones.
Meet Danny. He's a kid looking for a dad.
There's hardly anybody to play with around here.
What's up, Doc?
Jack just can't finish his book.
I don't want to sound melodramatic, but there's no way to make it economically feasible.
Here's to 5 miserable months.
But now, sometimes what we need the most is just around the corner.
I'm your new foster father.
I'd do anything.
Climbing up on Salisbury Hill,
I love it.
I could see the city light. My heart going boom, boom, boom. Son, he said, grab your things, I've come to take you home.
Shining.
Okay. Ethan asks, is that a real trailer for The Shining? Well, it is a trailer for The Shining, or Shining. What kind of movie is that? a feel-good movie, Rose says. Bryce says it's horror. I didn't see any horror in that trailer. That's one of those family is on the rocks, and then through a series of um, interesting things that happen to them, they find each other again, right? Whenever Peter Gabriel Salisbury Hill comes on, it's one of those Cameron Crowe movies. I bought a zoo. Okay, but imagine someone seeing that trailer and then watching the movie. Exactly. So if you know anything about the actual movie, it is a horror movie. People die. In fact, the one time you see Jack Nicholson there kissing someone, he is actually kissing a drowned corpse. But the way the trailer is cut, it seems like a nice moment, right? So this breaks the authorial contract, right? Because this trailer promises one kind of movie, a feel-good family gets back together movie, and what we get is alcoholic dad takes an axe to his family movie. Okay, I have more. I love these things. This was actually part of a contest. There's an annual contest for film editors where you take basically you have to change the genre of a film, and you're only allowed voiceover and actual scenes from the film itself, and you can use whatever music you want. So they changed The Shining from horror to feel good family movie. Okay, so that's all I noticed. We have dwindled since the start of our hour. That's all I have today. Play D&D. We'll talk about D&D on Monday. Have a good weekend, and let me know over Discord. I'll be checking Discord if anything needs to be done. Okay. Bye-bye.